So this passage speaks about God's commandment for us to uphold justice and treat each other with fairness. Justice and fairness are these really important basic concepts that we all understand from a very young age. If you grew up with siblings or if you have children, you know that that chocolate bar better be divided exactly in half, down to a fraction of a millimeter. If one side is a little bit bigger than the other, there'll be complaints that it's not fair, he got more than I did. But believe it or not, fairness is not just limited to humans. Even animals understand fairness. If you don't believe me, there's this really famous psychological experiment. You can watch a video online. The researchers trained these two capuchin monkeys, the little monkeys that go on your shoulder, to give a little rock or pebble to the researcher and get a treat in return. Now, what you have to understand about these monkeys is that they like cucumbers, but what they really love is grapes. And I completely agree. I'll eat a cucumber if given the choice. I'll take a grape anytime. I don't know if you guys agree with me. So I relate to those monkeys. So the experiment begins. Each monkey gives a little pebble to the researcher. They both get a cucumber. They both happily eat it. Now round 2. This time, the first monkey gets a cucumber. The second monkey gets a nice, juicy grape. This first monkey is very perturbed by this. He looks at his neighbor enjoying the grape. Look at his cucumber, back at the researcher. He knows something is not right. Now, round 3, the scene repeats itself. First monkey gets a cucumber. Second monkey gets a nice grape. This time, the first monkey is very, very upset. He's jumping in his cage, making monkey noises. He's rattling the cage. He actually sticks his arm out and forcibly throws the cucumber back at the researcher. Almost like saying, this is not fair. I deserve a grape. Anyway, so the point of that experiment is that it's such a basic, important concept, justice and fairness. Even a monkey knows when he's being treated unfairly. So back to our passage. Obviously, justice is very important to God. I'll read the passage again. Leviticus 19:15. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. So God commands us to be just and fair. Unfortunately, as you all may attest, that's not always the case. So not everybody does this, so the world is unjust. Life is just not fair sometimes. So then how do we respond? What do you do if you feel like a monkey that keeps getting cucumbers when you really deserve a nice, juicy grape? So easier said than done, but we must resist the urge to become bitter, jaded, or complacent. We shouldn't do what everybody else does. We can't control how other people act, but we can control how we choose to respond. So this can be a great testimony of our faith if despite injustice all around us, we choose to always carry ourselves with integrity and with justice and treat each other fairly. And this is what Yeshua said is the greatest commandment, to love God with all your heart and to treat your neighbor as yourself. Because if you love God, you want to follow his commandments and uphold justice. And if you love your neighbor as yourself, you will treat them how you want to be treated, which is fairly. So let me find myself here. And this applies to every relationship in our lives. Every human interaction, all day, we should do this. But I want to give special emphasis to the husband-wife relationship for obvious reasons. So, I've been getting a lot of unsolicited marriage advice over the last few weeks. A lot. No, but I love it. Thank you so much to all the veteran husbands who chose to impart me with their words of wisdom, sometimes hard-earned. I really appreciate it. And one point that kept coming up over and over again is love and respect. And one way that we can show respect to our spouse is to treat them fairly. So now, husbands, what's the easy, practical way that we can show respect and fairness to our wives? I think it's to share the household chores equally, it's only fair to do your part. So yes, I know. Okay, so since I put the call out, I think I should try to lead by example. It's only fair, right? So I think this is being recorded and live streamed, so I'm going to look straight at the camera and say that I promise to treat my soon-to-be wife, Miriam, with love and respect. I will treat her fairly, which means I will help clean the house and do... Thank you. I will vacuum. I will fold the laundry. If she cooks, I will clean afterwards. So now that that's being recorded for prosperity, It's on the internet, somewhere. It can never be fully deleted. So you can all remember this, and please hold me accountable to this. Thank you.